Should this be punished like war crimes? A growing movement of activists, lawyers, and political leaders say yes. They want to make ecocide, or widespread destruction of the environment, an international crime.
If you put serious damage to nature at the top level on a par with serious damage to people and property, you're saying that it actually is as bad, not just legally, but morally, to seriously damage the environment.
So far, most of environmental law works like this. When harm is done, companies or governments need to make up for the damage they've caused by paying fines or compensation. Ecocide campaigners want a shift from regulation to criminal prosecution.
If those, key decision makers have to take into account the fact that their personal freedom could be on the line if the decision that they make or if the project they decide to go forward with has the potential to seriously destroy nature, then that has a way of seriously concentrating the mind.
The concept has a history. In 1972, Olof Palme, then Prime Minister of Sweden, accused the US military of ecocide, of its use of Agent Orange during the Vietnam War. The deployment of the herbicide created extreme environmental destruction and left millions of people disabled. Palme was ahead of his time. But with the climate crisis escalating and worldwide protests demanding quick action, the push to criminalize ecocide is back. In 2019, the small island state of Vanuatu was the first country to raise the issue before the International Criminal Court. The Pacific country is suffering from rising sea levels and temperatures, both a result of climate change. Meanwhile, what started as a civil society-led movement of environmental activists around Scottish lawyer Polly Higgins, the cause of the Netherlands-based Stop Ecocide Foundation has lately found resonance at the highest global level. The Pope has endorsed it. The European Parliament has discussed it. National parliaments in several countries around the world are in talks about it. And high-profile leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron, have signaled that they would support criminalizing ecocide at the international level. So, does this mean we will see the Amazon rainforest taking a lawyer and suing illegal loggers before the ICC? Or are we expecting a CEO to be taken away in handcuffs anytime soon? Well, not yet. There has been no agreement over what actions legally constitute ecocide. What kind of magnitude amounts to an international crime? Do humans have to be harmed? Climate change is the collective result of millions of destructive acts that we are all committing. So how grave do these acts have to be in order to make someone a climate criminal? And who could be held legally responsible for ecocide? Determining that, not an easy task for the international team of lawyers who spent the past 6 months working on a definition of ecocide that could be legally robust. This is what they came up with. Ecocide means unlawful or wanton acts committed with knowledge that there is a substantial likelihood of severe and either widespread or long-term damage to the environment being caused by those acts.
Alors moi j'ai beaucoup d'espoir que nous verrons un jour ce crime d'écocide figurer dans le statut de Rome pour la survie de notre planète.
As with genocide or war crimes, the standards for prosecuting someone at the ICC with this definition of ecocide would be very high. But making ecocide a crime independent of human suffering would be a landmark moment in both international criminal law and the fight against climate change.
So if there was a massive environmental destruction, that in and of itself can be a crime. That in and of itself can be an ecocide without reference to necessarily human beings, which I liked a lot.
Some European countries like Sweden have already signaled their readiness to work with this definition. That is crucial for the success of the campaign because only states parties to the ICC can propose an amendment to the court's charter, known as the Rome Statute, which then requires a 2/3 majority for passage. Even in the most optimistic scenario, mobilizing this kind of support could take years. And some environmental justice experts still warn that it may not prove as strong a deterrent mechanism as hoped.
It's not going to stop ecocide. That's all I'm saying. It's not going to stop ecocide. We need system change. We need really substantial revolutionary shifts in how we are living our lives and relating to the natural world, and the powers that we give corporations, and just how the whole thing is set up is premised on environmental destruction. Our systems rely on environmental destruction. So criminalizing some people will not change that.
For now, the idea of charging humans with ecocide may seem idealistic, but it is exactly that shift in mindset that may soon be required. Scientists warn that irreversible climate tipping points are already being reached, and time is running out to prevent an environmental catastrophe. Advocates for ecocide laws say that their goal is to both implement legal deterrence mechanisms and to advance public awareness, so that real and lasting change can happen.